Hi everyone, I'm Ziv Botzer. I'm going to share with you some designer SolidWorks tricks I've picked up and developed over my career as a product designer. Today I'm going to show you a trick that allows you to create these interesting meshes or grids which you can use as ventilator grills or surface decorations. In this case it's actually a standalone mesh. In this case it's a 3D treatment of a solid surface. And let's get started. I'm going to open a new part and I'm going to draw a spline. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the top surface which I used for the first spline, I'm going to offset it a bit and draw another spline here. And I'm going to connect the two splines, use them to create a boundary surface. Now before I prove the boundary surface, if I have mesh preview on, I can already see the lines which are going to be connecting the two splines that I made. This gives me a hint as to what I'm going to get from this configuration. I'm going to approve this, and I'm going to use a usually overlooked feature under Tools, Sketch Tools, Face Curves, in which I can choose the surface, and now I can choose the amount of lines in different one direction 1, direction 2. Let's choose like 14 lines, approve it. Now unfortunately, when you approve this tool, the face curves tool, what you get is a big pile of 3D sketches, which is not very useful for doing whatever it is you want to do. So we need to take this pile of 3D sketches and make them into something useful. What we're going to do, we're going to start a new 3D sketch. We're going to choose using Shift, Selection, all the 3D sketches and convert entities them. Let's approve that. Now in order to make the tree more manageable, I'm going to choose the same 3D sketches, not the last one that I made. I'll add them into a new folder. Let's call it 1. And I'm going to choose all of them and hide them. Okay. Now I'm not deleting them because the cool thing about this trick is that it keeps everything parametric. So if I were to change one of the lines that I used for first defining the shapes here and approve it, you can see that all the 3D sketches change accordingly, including the one that converts the entities. Now, this 3D sketch is still a bunch of splines. In order for it to be useful enough, I want it to be one entity. So what I'm going to do, I'm editing the 3D sketch and I'm connecting the lines. Now this seems like a bit of hard work, but it only takes a minute and you'll see where it takes us next. Okay, now I'm starting with the next one. Don't change the length of the converted entities lines because then you risk it losing the parametric relation. If you don't touch them and only add these straight lines, it will withstand any changes you made to the original shape. Now in order to make sure that what I have now is one continuous curve, I'm going to right click it and choose select chain. Okay, we can see that it did not select all the way. Something here is wrong. Okay, I zoomed in and I can see I have this glitchy line here. Okay, got rid of it. Let's try it again. Excellent. So now it's one continuous curve. Let's approve it. Now I can start to do all sorts of things with this. I could use it for a sweep feature by adding a profile and shape on it and then sweeping. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to use it as an extruded surface. Now you can do that since SolidWorks, I think 2013. You choose surface extrude with your 3D sketch. You choose the direction, top in this case, and how much you want it extruded. Voila. Now it's just one surface. What am I going to do with it? Let's take the original surface and thicken it. And let's take the new one and thicken it as well. And now I can make a Boolean operation between these two. I'm going to take this base shape and subtract this. Okay. And I've got this interesting pattern. Now, it's not so interesting because the distances between the lines are very repetitive. And this is another design flexibility that I have here. If I go back into the boundary surface, I could add to one or both of the lines another direction vector to have them pushed into a certain direction. So let's choose the front direction, add a strength. You can see already how it's affecting the distances between the lines. I'm going to approve this. Okay, this is a much more interesting result. Now you might be asking yourself, why did I bother to, when I first made the first two lines, why did I bother to make the offset surface? I'm gonna demonstrate it to you. If I were to make these two splines over the same plane, like I'm doing now, and then try to a boundary surface between the two, not like this. Well, I have mesh preview on, but you can already see that there's nothing shown here. And the reason for that is that when the lines for creating a boundary surface are on the same plane, then they become a planar surface. A planar surface does not have, if I try to extract the lines from it, you can see that they have nothing to do with the trim of the surface. So this is not useful. And that's the reason that you want the first two lines not to be on the same plane. What happens if you want to change the number of the lines? Well, this is the limitation here. You can play around with the shapes of the lines very flexibly and using instant 3D try different shapes. But if you want to change the number of the lines, you have to delete this and go back and extract the lines again. So this is not a level of flexibility that you can get here with SolidWorks. If you absolutely need something like that, then I'd suggest you go to Grasshopper. So how do we go about from this relatively simple implementation into something like this interesting grill? Well, in this case, I did not use the same surface as the base, the direction 1 and direction 2 lines. I made 3 different surfaces. So I have this surface as the base shape. I have this second surface, which is used for the horizontal lines, and another surface from other ingredients, which is used for the vertical lines. So eventually I have these nice ingredients which I can use in all sorts of different ways. In this case, I kind of thickened and combined them, resulting in different heights, different widths of the lines, and you can see it could be a really nice grill. And I could play around like designers appreciate and see different results of this grid. Okay, that's it for now. I'd really love to hear in the comments if you have any questions and if you find this useful and manage to implement it in any of your projects. Have fun and I'll see you around.